Hello beautiful people and welcome to my channel. If you are a new subscriber, welcome. If you are a return subscriber, welcome back. Everything that I use in this video will be listed down below, so feel free to check that out if needed. Also, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment so you don't miss whenever I post another video. Let's get straight to it. So I'm going to start off with this palette right here, which is the Huda Beauty, and I have another camera set up right here, so I'm going to be looking back and forth. This dark red shade right here, and I'm gonna start on this side so that I don't have to constantly keep moving my hair. I'm gonna apply this to the outer corner on top of my natural crease. And I'm gonna build it up. And I'm going to fade that line towards the front. Just a little bit. And don't worry if it's not perfect, because you will go in and clean it up with some concealer. Now I'm gonna go in with this red right here to clean up the edges. And I want this look to be a little more rounded. Okay. I'm gonna go back into that first red shade because I really want that to stand out. And now I'm gonna go in with a little bit of this red. And now I'm gonna clean up this area right here. And I'm going to go in with some concealer. I like to use a lighter concealer because it helps whatever color I'm applying on it appear more pigmented. So I like to just go in with a lighter shade. And you can use micellar water to clean up that area as well, especially if you have a lot of fallout from your other colors. But since I don't have any fallout, I'm just using the concealer, because sometimes if you go in with a lighter concealer, it will alter the color of the concealer underneath, and that will also alter whatever color you apply on next. And I'm just going to use my finger to kind of blend out the outer corner of that concealer. And whatever's left on the brush from that darker shade, I'm just applying it into the concealer just a little bit to kind of like fade it in. And then I'm going to go into this red, just to kind of fade it in a little more. Go back into that darker red. And I'm gonna go in with a little bit of this glittery red, but only in that area. And as you can see, I left a little bit of space for that concealer. You don't have to, because I'm gonna go in with something else right there. But I just wanted to add a little bit of glitter. And I also left a little space right here. And you can use this, but since that's not white, and I want white, I'm gonna go in with white. And with this glittery white shade, I'm just applying that to that extra area as well as going over that red just a little bit so that it flows together. And again, everything that I used will be listed down below. And I'm not showing that palette because it's not the main palette that I was using for this video, but again, it will be listed down below. Now with that little space right there, I'm going to go in with a white eyeliner. And actually, since this white is like a glittery type of white, we're actually going to go back in with that. That's why I just took this one for this. Look close. And I want that to really stand out, so I'm just going to go in with a little more. And just so that everything is like together, I'm just applying a little bit in the front as well. I'll go in with a little bit of black liner, but I'm gonna do that a little later. So now let's repeat this on this side. So I normally don't do my face before my eyes, but I want to do the full face and then do my eyes, just for the people who like to do their face first, then their eyes. And I like to move up a little bit from my brows so that the product is not so thick layered directly on top of my brows, and work my way down. And as you see, every time I go back, I slightly go over that section. Again, you want to take your time when doing this because you don't want to mess up your brows and have to do the whole thing over again. And I have a natural arch, but we're getting rid of it. So I like to round when it comes to that area, and I like the point to be super pointy, so we're just pushing some of that together. Whatever product is left over, not left over, then we fade out the edges with the same brush, so when we go in with our foundation, it blends in. And your brows are supposed to be sisters, not twins, but I like mine to be as close to twins as possible. And I'm going to blend out the edges just a little bit more. And then you'll go in with whatever foundation you use. Go ahead and apply some primer. I forgot to apply primer to my forehead. And with the foundation, you want to use a little at a time and then build it up, because you don't want to apply a whole bunch of foundation and then have to go through and take your damn beauty blender just to get majority of it off. Like just the little bit that I use, you still have some dark spots that are peeking through. You can also use your hand to apply the foundation. And I know, some of you may like to use a sponge when blending out your foundations over a brush because you feel like a brush makes it streaky. It just depends how you prefer your makeup to look. For me, I never had my foundation be streaky with the brush. That's why I prefer a brush over a sponge, but that's just me personally. But use whatever works for you. And I use the littlest amount on my nose because my nose is the first thing that gets oily on me no matter how much powder I use. So I want to make sure that I'm using just a little bit of foundation. And as you can see on this side, I didn't have to go in with another amount, but since I still have foundation on my hand, I'm just going to make sure that everything is nice and covered before I move on. And I like to bring my foundation down to my neck because I have PCOS, and it will help cover some of those dark spots underneath my neck. As well as it'll help my makeup not look like I have on a mask. At this point in time, this is where you could go in with your damp beauty blender to kind of clean up any areas that you need to clean up, but I don't have to do that. So we're gonna move on to concealer. And I'm using the lighter concealer that I did when I did the cut crease. And I'm just going to apply it right underneath my eyes, leaving a little bit of space so when I blend it up, it'll fade up because you're blending out the edges first. Apply a little bit to my forehead as well as the center of my nose. You can add some to your cupid's bow and your chin if you want to. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It just depends on my mood. And this concealer dries down a little fast, so you don't want it, especially underneath the eyes, to sit for too long. So I'm blending out the edges on my forehead first because I don't want any harsh lines. And then I'll go in with my foundation brush to help blend it out even further. Where did that come from? Right in my nose. And I like to bring that concealer up towards the center of my brows. And then I use my finger to kind of dry it down and continue to blend it out. Now blending out the edges. But if you have a concealer that is light coverage, let it sit and dry down for a little bit so it can make it appear to be a little more full coverage. And you also can layer concealer on, so you can go in with another round, especially if you feel like it's not enough coverage. But again, this concealer, once it dries down, it's kind of hard for it to move around, but I love it because of the coverage that it gives. So I'm gonna go in with one more layer. And I added a little bit more this time, but that's okay. And I'm not gonna let this one sit. I'm going straight in And it's okay to bring it all the way up to my temple because I'm going to add bronzer there anyway, so it'll get covered. So for the edges, I like to take my foundation brush without going back in it and going over the edges. And before I blend this out, let me prep my powders. Contouring just a little bit. I like to use my bronzer to contour versus actually contouring. And a little of this goes a long way, but I do kind of build it up just a little bit as well. Thing for the nose, and it kind of already looked like I contoured just a little bit, but you want to take it right where you see that shadow on your nose, follow that line and fade it towards your brows. And again, it is pigmented, so you don't want to do too much. Okay, just like that. And I'm gonna bring it down on the sides just a little bit, kind of like fading it out. Now I'm gonna take my hands, my index finger, and kind of blend that out. Don't rub too hard to the point that you're removing the product, but that you're blending it in so that it fades in. Foundation brush to blend out that concealer, that bronzer, so everything blends together. And there's nothing on this brush. You can use a clean brush if you want to, but I don't like dirtying up a lot of tools if I don't necessarily need to, like that. Now go back in with that brush just a little bit, and you can use a sponge as well to remove or clean up any excess product. Just gonna use the brush to kind of push it in, blend it out, and then go in with my powder underneath. Just like that. And I'm going over some of that bronzer just a little bit. Now I'm going to kind of clean up the bronzer on my nose a little bit and kind of bake, especially on this side, because I'm going in with the eye makeup right after this, so I want that side to kind of sit, but not for too long because I have dry skin and I don't want that to sit there for that long. Okay. So anywhere that I applied that concealer, I'm going in with this powder to set that into place. And you remember we did apply we did apply concealer around our brows, so we're gonna set that as well, but I'm gonna set that with a different powder, this powder, to be the one to set my brows. I want more so of a translucent powder. Okay. Because I don't want that to get shiny. So I'm taking that same powder to kind of clean up and give me that more snatched look. And kind of set my smile line as well. But as you can see, the closer it gets to my mouth, the more I kind of fade it out, so it's not too harsh. I hope you all enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. Again, everything that I use will be listed down below. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps with the algorithm and get more people in to view the videos. I also will be doing a little more close-up video so you can see in more detailed how I exactly do my eyes. I'm excited for the next upcoming weeks and going into the new year for the new looks that I'll be bringing to you guys. And I'm excited to share them with you guys. If you were able to follow along with this particular look, comment down below and let me know. If not, it's okay, because again, I will be doing a little more close-up looks with you guys also. And I'm excited about how this look turned out. It's so cute. It's giving the winter time. It's giving, what's the word I'm looking for? Christmas time. And I'm just excited for it. I also got a haul coming up. Like, I've been trying to do this haul for, let's see, I've been back since July. So since July, I've been trying to do this haul, and I've never like had the time to really sit down to really get in tune with it. But y'all will have a haul coming up soon as well. Some of the stuff you may see it behind me. And I'm excited to get these new looks out and rolling.